everybody, it's Miss Bree today. I hope you're all having a really lovely day. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right on into our lesson. It is all going to be about contractions today. We are going to be learning some really important information, how to read and spell common contraction words that are formed with a verb paired with the word not, okay? So today I would like for you guys to read this I can statement. It says, I can read and spell common contraction words, okay? So read that out loud. I can read and spell common contraction words. So here's an essential question to introduce what we're talking about. So does anyone know what the word contract means? Okay, think about this one. What does the word contract mean to you? I know that this is a new word, but if you've heard it, maybe you might know the meaning to it. Contract, okay? Think about that. Are we contracting something, or are we contracting? Does it get bigger? Does it get smaller? Think of how the word contract. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you one more time so we can get back to our lesson and cover what the word contract means. So the word contract means to shorten or make something smaller, okay? So in this given lesson, we're going to be focusing all about contraction words, okay? So we're going to be looking at what happens when we combine two words together and we contract them into one smaller word. Okay, so to cover, the word contract means to shorten and make something smaller. And we're going to be modeling that today by combining two different words and making them become one. For example, we have here on the top of our chart, we have the word did not. Okay, so those are two different words. All of our contraction words you're going to notice today are all going to be using the word not in them. So we have the word did not. We're going to contract that into one smaller word and create the word didn't, okay? We use that by separating the word with an apostrophe, which is right here. So therefore, contraction words are formed by combining two words, okay? So we have the word did plus not equals didn't, okay? So we always keep the first part of the word the same. So we have did here. Okay, we would write out did. We have replaced not with int, and we represent not by the N and an apostrophe T, didn't. This makes it a lot easier for us to talk. It makes it a lot easier for us to write using the words didn't. A lot of the times people will use the contraction word didn't instead of saying did not. So it's just a part of the English language, and it's a really important thing to learn at your age. So then when you are older and when you get into third grade, you're going to start to write faster. You'll talk a little bit quicker and more fluently. So something that I want you to keep in mind is that we cannot forget to use an apostrophe to show that we've removed some letters in a word to form a contraction word. Okay? So going back to this example here, did not, okay? The apostrophe right here, right before my T and right after my N, shows that we removed some of those letters like the O, and we're replacing it with an apostrophe to show that we've contracted a word to make it smaller. So now here are some other examples that are contraction words. So we have the word I'm, we have dogs, we have haven't, sister. Well, these are words that could be an example of a contraction or just using an apostrophe to show that we're taking away some letters. Okay, so we have the word warrant, shouldn't, didn't. These are all contraction words that I'm listing off, and they're all words used using an apostrophe. Okay, so contraction means to shorten or make something smaller. An apostrophe shows to use that we are removing some of those letters, specifically in contraction words, to form one word, okay? So now we're gonna practice, okay? So we have our verb, okay? Our verb is did, and for this whole lesson, we're gonna be using the word not. So this is going to be our word that we're gonna be contracting a verb with. So in blue, you're going to see throughout this whole lesson the verb. Not is going to be highlighted, and our contraction word is going to be in pink, okay? My first example here shows no apostrophe, okay? Did not translates to didn't, but we're missing something here, right? We just learned that we have to use an apostrophe when creating a contraction word, right? Because we need to show that we have removed some letters, and by doing that, we use an apostrophe. So we have our verb, did, on the second line. We have our word not. Now we need to combine those two words. We have did, not. We're going to combine those words, and poof, we have one word, didn't, okay? We model that by removing the O in not, making that word smaller, using an apostrophe to do so. Okay, so now I would like for you guys to gather some materials. Please gather one piece of paper. Gather 3 different markers or a highlighter if you have that. I'm going to be using green, blue, and purple. Pause this video while you gather those materials. Press play when you're ready to come back, and we will join you shortly on the rest of our lesson. So we're going to be creating a contraction word chart just like the one you see here. This is why 3 different colors are going to come in handy. So we are going to create one just like this. So we're going to create a chart on our paper. We are going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We are going to create 12 rows with 3 columns, okay? Rows are going down, columns go across. So let's go ahead and start. Let me model this first and show you. I'm going to draw my square on my paper. So I drew one big square just like this, okay? I'm going to make I'm going to separate this by 3 lines in the middle, just like this. So 2 lines to create 3 columns. So now divide your paper into 3 different parts, okay? So now we have 3 columns. But now we need 12 rows. So I'm going to draw 11 lines going across. Let me model this first. So we have 1, just like this. And then you're gonna do that 11 times, okay? So you have 1, now count 2, 3, 4, okay, until you have 11 lines, okay? And that will equal 12 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, just like this. So now I'm going to count and make sure. So I have 1, 2, 3 columns, and I'm going to count down and make sure I have 12 rows. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Great. So I hope your paper looks just like this. I'll leave this up here for a second. I understand my lines are not straight. I don't have a ruler, so do not feel pressured to make your lines straight. This is just a fun activity to do at home during this time. Now go ahead and write with your 3 different colors. Write verb. So I chose blue, verb. Now we're going to write all of those verbs on the left side, just like the ones you see here in blue. So write the word are. We have the word can. So just like this, I am writing going down. Are, can, could, okay? Write all of those words here that you see me highlighting over in blue. Could, did, does, do, had, has, have, is, and then you have the bottom row blank because we are going to, we're gonna leave that blank because I have a challenge to do at the end for all of us. So now you're going to grab your other color. On my computer, I have yellow. However, I don't have a yellow mark. Oh, I do. I have yellow. So I'm going to use not. And we are going to write the word not straight down that middle row, okay? Just all down the middle. Because that is going to be our word that we are creating a contraction with, right? Today we are only focusing on the word not. So we have our verbs in blue. We have our contraction words in yellow. And now we're going to write our contraction words in pink. So I have a pink marker, so this all matches. Just write that word contraction. Okay. So let me stop sharing for a second. So your paper should look just like this. So we have our verbs in blue. These are going to be our words that we are going to be using to contract. We have the word not. We are only going to be using the word not to make words smaller. And then we are going to combine these 2 words and write our contraction words for our activity today. So I'm going to be modeling this on the computer just so you guys can visually read it a lot better and work along quicker with me. But I will at times go ahead and write this on my paper to model exactly what you should be doing. So I'm going to make this smaller. There we go. So right here. So we have our word are not. So I'm going to write the word are. We always keep the first part of the word the same. Now, are not is going to translate to aren't. So I'm going to put my N, R in, put my apostrophe and my T. Whenever we shorten the word not, you'll notice it's just an N and a T. We always leave out the O. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight this in pink so you can see. So we have the word are not, right? We kept the word are. I bolded that for you so you can see. And then we have the N and the T to represent not. You just made a contraction word. On your paper, I will model the first few on your paper for you. Write this contraction word in your chart. Just like this. So we have the word are, not. We are combining those 2 words to create aren't. All right, now we're going to move on to our next one. It says can not. Okay, I cannot clean my room today, right? That is how we use that word cannot. But That's kind of long to always say, I cannot do that. I cannot do this. We want to shorten that word to the word, oops, can't, right? Can't. I can't clean my room today. Sounds a lot more fluent and just easier for you to speak and quicker to write. So the word cannot translates to can't, right? We combine the word can, we combined it with the word not. We have can't. All right, I will go ahead and write that one on my chart with you guys. Can't. Just like this. Can't. Okay, now we are on to our next word. So we have the word could. Could. So, could not. We have could, we have not. We need to combine could not comes to couldn't, right? We are going to keep the first part of our word. We are going to write the not with an N apostrophe T, just like that. So we have could, I will bold that part for you. Could, couldn't. Could not, we have could, not, couldn't becomes one word. Let's go ahead and move to our next word. We have the word did. So I'm going to write the word did. And then we have the word not. So I'm going to write an N apostrophe T. We have did, not, combines to didn't, right? Always keep that first word the same. You always keep that verb the same. When we add the not, we just add an N apostrophe T. So now we have the word does right here, does. Does not. Well, I'm going to write does. What do you think we do now? We wrote the word does, but we have to add our word not. What is the next step here? The next step is to add an N and then to add an apostrophe. And we need to represent not, doesn't. Okay, so we have the word does, we have the word not, combine those together, we have one word, doesn't. That doesn't make sense, right? That's how I would use that word. Now we have the word do, right? So I'm going to write my word do. I'm going to bold that because we're keeping the verb the same. However, we need to add the word not. Do not. I do not like eggs and bacon in the morning, right? I don't, N apostrophe T, I don't like eggs and breakfast in the morning. I really do though. So now we have the word had right here and not. Make sure, boys and girls, that you are writing these contraction words in pink on your paper as well. I'm just modeling on the computer so you guys can visually see it a lot clearer than me holding the paper up. But we have the word had and not. So we're going to first write what our word had. The next step is going to what? Write the word not. However, we're not going to write it like this, had not. That is not how we do it. Because if we did, we would just leave it separated and write, I had not lost my keys. I had not lost my keys this morning. I hadn't, apostrophe T, lost my keys this morning. All right, boys and girls, you're almost done. We have a couple more words here. We are going to write the word, we have has as our next verb here. Has. So we are going to write the word has. The next step is to write what? Not. So we have has not, hasn't, hasn't. She has not left school yet. She hasn't left school yet. Now we have the word have right here. Have. So the first thing I'm going to do is what? Write my word out. Have. And then I need to what? Add the word not. Haven't, apostrophe T, haven't, haven't. So we have the word have, not, I have not left the school yet. Have not becomes haven't. I haven't left the school yet. We're on to our last word together. We have the word is, right? So we always write the word is first. Is not. Okay, do I write it like this? Is not. All done. That's how I contract it. Nope. Right, take that away. We are going to write is not. Is, put our N. We want to always remember our apostrophe to let everyone know we are separating, we are taking away some letters, right? We are taking away the O in this. Isn't, right? Our word is not becomes isn't, right? So now I want you guys to think of a word on your own that may be a contraction word. So I want you to think of one last word here that may be a contraction word. If you're having trouble, that is okay. Just think of any word. It could be she, it could be he, right? There's so many words that become contraction words. I'm going to use the word might. Might. Okay? The word might. I want to use the word might and say might not. Okay? Might not. How am I going to contract the word might not? Well, let's first write the word might. Okay, I did that. I'm going to bold that so you can see. I'm going to do the same thing that we've been doing. Might. Okay, I'm going to take away that O, just like I've been doing before. Replace that with an apostrophe and put my T. So we have the word might not. She might not get to come to school today. She might not becomes might, mightn't. I know it's kind of a weird word to pronounce, but it is a word, right? Mightn't. Okay, there's my word chart, everybody. Make that bigger for you to see. So in this lesson, you were able to really think about contraction words, right? Let's go ahead and review that I can statement. So today, I was able to create contraction words by combining two words together. For an example, we had the word did. We have the word not equals didn't. So what does the word contract mean? The word contract means to, drum roll, shorten or make something smaller. Why do we use an apostrophe? We use an apostrophe to what? Show that we are removing letters in a word, right? So now some free time challenge. If you have free time at home, write these words down. He is, she is. Try and make those into contraction words, okay? That's your homework for today if you have free time. I hope you guys really enjoyed this lesson. I know I had so much fun teaching it. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.